Roots run deep, petals flow, fair and florist part. Hear the stories as they grow. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Fair and Florist Pod. Go on, get yourself a cuppa, a biscuit, or if you're feeling particularly indulgent today, a nice slice of cake. Settle in somewhere comfortable, because today's story, well, it's one of those moments in life where you stop, blink twice, and wonder whether the universe has decided to test you just that little bit more than usual. I'm your host Sarah, and this is episode 3. Already. Time really does fly when you're having fun. I'm co-owner of Fair and Florist. We're a small independent florist on the outskirts of a little town on the south coast of the UK called, yep, you've guessed it, Fareham. Our shop is small enough that you can walk through it in mere seconds, familiar enough that most locals know me by name, just busy enough that every day brings its own little adventures. Today's episode is about one of those adventures, or maybe a misadventure, that starts small, quiet, barely noticeable, like the faint rumble of distant thunder. Then it grows. It gathers speed. It gathers emotional momentum. Before you know it, you're standing in the middle of a full-blown storm you never saw coming. Only, in this case, the storm wasn't made of lightning or rain. It was made of phone calls. 11 of them. From one single human being. Hello, lovely listeners. I'm briefly going to interrupt this episode. Forgive me, but I wish to speak to you directly. Producing this podcast takes time, energy, caffeine, and no small amount of courage. I create every episode independently, without a production team or external support. And whilst I am loving doing it, there are real costs involved in keeping it going. From hosting platforms and equipment, to editing software and script writing time, it's all adding up, far more than I initially anticipated. I completely understand that times are challenging for so many people right now, and support is never expected. However, if you are enjoying the show and would like to help me continue growing this little dream, you can do so by buying me a virtual coffee. If you would like to make a contribution, please visit www.buymeacoffee.com/fairandfloristpod. Every single contribution, no matter how small, will genuinely make a difference. I'm incredibly grateful for your support already as it is, whether that's through listening, sharing the pod, or helping me financially. Thank you for being here. Okay, back to the show. Before we get into the avalanche of voicemails, let me paint you the scene. It's not often, and I mean really not often, that I arrive at work just before opening. My usual routine is like clockwork. 2 hours earlier, rain, shine, sleet, frost, or even the unexpected plague of locusts, I'm there. 2 hours gives me the breathing space I need. It allows me to enjoy the peaceful pre-opening quiet. No phone calls, no walk-ins, no deliveries. No last-minute panics, although on occasion, maybe some. It's just me, a cold cup of tea, the flowers, the gentle hum of the building waking up. Those early hours are sacred, as you'll know if you listen to episode 2. Or is it 1? I think it was 1 where I told you about my day. They're the calm before the daily whirlwind of orders, customers, consultations, the dreaded paperwork, the occasional chaos that comes with running a small independent shop. They're the hours when I feel most of myself. Or I don't feel most of myself, I feel most myself. Centred, steady, and prepared. Maybe I should edit that last little bit. This particular Monday morning, though, well, this Monday had other plans for me. Life, as it often does, had given me a list of errands which couldn't be ignored. One thing after another. A prescription to collect. Thankfully, the chemist is open at 7. A parcel to drop off. A form that needed to be posted through a letterbox. A stop I foolishly thought that would take me 5 minutes, which of course took 15. By the time I looked at the clock, my calm 2-hour buffer had evaporated. I was pulling up outside the shop with mere minutes to spare before opening. That alone puts me on edge. It feels like I'm stepping into the day halfway through a race I never signed up for. I grabbed my keys, hurried inside, flicked on the lights, took a deep breath, ready to salvage what remained of my morning quiet. The universe, though, well, that had other ideas. That had something else waiting for me. As I walked through to the office, still struggling to get my coat off, mentally now organising my morning, my eyes landed on the answering machine. It was flashing. It was bright. Insistent. Like a tiny lighthouse signalling danger. Now, usually a flashing light means just one message. 2 at most on a busy day. A delayed delivery, a customer checking on an order, someone calling me while I was with another customer. Nothing alarming. Over a weekend, there can be more than 2. Usually customers that have phoned up at 5 o'clock on the Saturday wanting to order flowers for Sunday, or people phoning on a Sunday forgetting that we don't open that day. I pressed the button. The display lit up. 11 messages. 11! When I checked, they were all from the same number. They were also all within an hour before I had arrived at the shop that morning. That wasn't even the full story. My mobile, the business one, also showed multiple missed calls. Same number, same obsessive frequency. All within the space of 60 minutes, some space just mere seconds apart. For a brief moment, I wondered if there's some kind of emergency. Someone trying desperately to reach a florist for something urgent. Something emotionally heavy. I've had calls like that before. Last-minute funeral flowers due to a miscommunication with families, or another florist letting them down. A sudden hospital admission. Unexpected losses. Floristry is deeply entwined with the major emotional moments of life. Joy, love, grief, remembrance. So intense calls aren't that unusual. 11, though. 11 escalating voicemails. This was a new one on me. I hit the playback button. The first message was calm, polite even. A perfectly ordinary customer inquiry. The sort of message which makes you think, oh good, this won't take long to organise. Hello, please can you call me back when you get this, the caller said. A kind tone, no tension, no urgency, just a simple request. Then came message 2. A touch more impatience in the voice, still reasonable though. Message 3, there was a hint of frustration. I almost imagined the caller tapping their foot. By message 4, there was a definite, notable tone shift. The tight, uptight pitch that people get when they've convinced themselves they've been wronged. Message 5, a huge sigh before speaking. A classic sign that the speaker believes you are the problem. By message 6, we were on to full irritation. The clipped, sharp delivery where every syllable feels as if it's been filled into a weapon. Message 7, he begins to speculate about why I may not be answering. Are you refusing to take my calls? He shouted. Are you ignoring your customers? Again. Then came the creative phase, message 8, where he began accusing the business of unprofessionalism, attacking me personally. Message 9, there was genuine fury in his voice. He'd raised, there was audible indignation. Message 10, that was an almost outright rant. He was raging at me. Each message, he was coming up with different ways of getting me to call him back or to call me unprofessional. Message 11 was the best. It was an absolute masterpiece. If Shakespeare had written monologues for impatient modern-day customers, this would have been Act 3. I've been calling you since the minute you opened, he raged. If you weren't going to bother to be there to take phone calls, maybe you should make it clear on your outgoing answer phone message or put something on your website so your customers will know. I cannot believe you've been with other customers or too busy to answer the phone for almost an hour. What kind of business are you running when you're ignoring people? He delivered his message with such energy, way better than I've just shared it with you. Such theatrical tension, I half expected a drum roll at the end. I sat there for a moment, staring at the machine. There are only so many times you can listen to someone progressively lose their mind at you, directly, before you start to question things. Part of me, the human part, wanted to roll my eyes so hard they'd disappear into another dimension. Another part of me wanted to laugh. Then the professional part of me, the florist who deals with people at their best and their worst, knew what I had to do. I had to call him back. Even though I kind of knew exactly how the conversation would go. I dialed his number. The phone rang just the once. He was clearly waiting by it like a cat waits by a mouse hole. He answered. Before he could launch into another charade, though, I introduced myself with my most peaceful, steady, diplomatic voice. Good morning. This is Sarah from Fair & Florist. I'm calling you back regarding your messages. I sincerely apologise for not answering you earlier, but the shop doesn't actually open until 9 a.m, and I have only just arrived. As I'm sure you are aware, it is still only just before 9 right now. I was calm, clear, professional. I could have been reading the terms and conditions of a cloud subscription service. Then there was a pause, the kind which lasts only half a second, but you can hear the entire emotional spectrum travel through someone's soul. He erupted at me. I've been calling you since 9 a.m. He practically shouted it down the line. Then, as quickly as the storm arrived, it passed. Because something must have clicked inside his brain. I could practically hear the gears turning. I heard the realization entering, like a cold draft underneath a door. He inhaled. He exhaled. Then, in a completely different voice, one that was soft, gentle, genuinely apologetic, he said to me, "Oh, my dear, I am so very, very sorry. The clocks went back at the weekend, didn't they?" Yes, they did. That poor man, in that hour, had travelled through all 7 stages of emotional chaos. Polite optimism, mild impatience, irritation, suspicion, accusation, outrage, realisation and regret. All because of the end of daylight saving time. All because his clock, whether on his wall, his phone, or simply in his mind, had betrayed him. The absurdity of it was almost poetic. I confirmed gently, "Yes, the clocks did go back, sir." In that one sentence, the entire situation transformed. All of his frustration, all of his indignation, all of the fury which had been building like emotional compost, evaporated. He apologised again, and again. Then once more for good measure. He really didn't need to. After the call ended, though, I sat back to let the moment wash over me. There is something fascinating to me about how quickly misunderstandings can escalate. How quickly they can dissolve with just one piece of missing information. It made me think, how often do we get wound up over things completely outside of our control? How often do we create entire narratives in our heads, convinced we know exactly what's happening, only to discover later that we were wrong? How often do we forget there are reasonable explanations for the things which can frustrate us? How often do we let impatience turn us into versions of ourselves we wouldn't really want to brag about? I don't believe this man intended waking up to be rude. I don't believe he set out to verbally attack a florist first thing on a Monday morning. He was just a human being operating under the wrong assumption, the wrong time, and his frustration spiralled. It could have easily gone so differently. If I had snapped back at him, if I had matched his tone, If I had let my own irritation speak instead of my professionalism, we could have been having a completely different conversation. But one calm, gentle response, one explanation, one reminder about the clocks going back. Suddenly, thankfully, the narrative unravelled, revealing the misunderstanding beneath. There's something surprisingly beautiful about that. This little incident reinforced some truths I think we all need reminding of. People aren't always angry at you. Sometimes they're angry at a misunderstanding. Time changes can throw the entire population into temporary chaos. 11 voicemails does not always mean the world is ending. It is very possible to go from villain to apologetic lamb in the space of one sentence. Perhaps most importantly, though, patience is rarely wasted. I'm also reminded to approach small explosions of human behaviour with curiosity rather than defensiveness. Because behind every outburst, there is usually a reason, even if that reason is simply forgetting about a time change. That was my Monday. A Monday which began with errands, rushed footsteps, a flashing answer machine, and ended with a very sheepish apology from a man who had simply outsmarted himself with daylight saving time. Nothing dramatic, nothing earth-shattering. Just one of those funny little human moments we can all laugh about later. It stayed with me all day, though, not because it was stressful, though it certainly had its moments, because it was such a perfect reminder of how easily misunderstandings creep into our daily lives, how easily they can be cleared with a little patience. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I hope it brought you a smile, or at least made you feel slightly better about any chaotic mornings you may have had recently. And remember one thing, maybe two. Before frustration takes over, before assumptions begin building, before you decide a florist is being rude, unprofessional, and ignoring you, check the clocks. Time, after all, has a sneaky way of playing tricks on us. Until next time, stay calm, stay kind, stay patient. Take each little moment of chaos with a pinch of humour. If you have enjoyed this episode, and I really do hope that you have, please feel free to share, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. This can make a really huge difference and helps others to find us. I appreciate all feedback, good and bad, but if you are going to leave negative feedback, please keep it constructive and be kind. I'm a florist after all.
Wait, there's more. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum.
You can also find us and share with everyone on the usual social media sites: Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Twitter, and any others which may pop up in between. Just look for Fair and Florist Pod. Please feel free to contact me with any questions you may have regarding any of the tales or experiences that I've shared, or just to do with being a general working florist. You can reach me via email. The address is fairandfloristpod@duck.com. That's DUCK for the duck. Are you a florist with your own stories, your own experiences that you would like me to share for you? If you are, I would love to hear from you. Again, you can reach me via the email address fairandfloristpod@duck.com, or you can drop me a WhatsApp on 073 671 87685. More than happy to keep you anonymous if you would like me to. If you would like me to give your business a mention, whether you run a florist, butcher, baker, or even a candlestick maker, I am more than happy to do so, providing your business is registered and trading legally. As a thank you, though, for my putting your details out there, and hopefully generating some new business for you, it would be really appreciated if you would be kind enough to make a donation to one of our nominated charities. These can be found on the webpage www.fairandfloristpod.co.uk.
That's it for today.
where the petals gently sway. Thanks for sharing in this story and for your time with me today. Until next time when our paths will cross again.